cornbread hiccup, and hopefully last and final part, because y'all, I am freaking exhausted. So we left off with the dog. Long story short, Daddy got his dog back. My Uncle Joe had to be sitting there because he didn't call the law. Jessie let him know that she had called the law on her way down there. Obviously, I called the BS, told my dad, ain't no way. No felon that has literally just broken in your house and stole your dog is going to be calling the law to accompany her to bring it back. Ain't no way. So when she got there, my Uncle Joe was sitting on the front porch with a double barrel just in case he needed it. And no, that ain't to the extreme. If you knew her the way I did, you'd know why. My dad went inside with her, and of course loving all over Foxy, and the whole time had his phone in his pocket and had me in there. I heard every last thing that was said, and she berated him the entire time, called him everything but a snake, let him know that she was going to divorce him for good and take our mother's maiden name because she wanted nothing else to do with him. Please do and do us all a favor, honey. Please do. Now, with that being said, she leaves, and she's told by not only my father that day, but also me, that she's not allowed back up there. She comes back up there, she's going to jail, because we've had enough. So fast forward, because this was not long after me and Jamie got married. So around November-ish, I guess, something like that, right? So you fast forward to the last week, or last day, technically, of hunting season up there, which is primitive season. So Daddy's in his pop-up blind with his bow and waiting on a big deer to walk out. He gets all excited because he hears one coming up behind him, right? That'd be my sister. And she undoes his blind right fast, and she said, "Whoa, Daddy, it's dangerous being over here by yourself. Anybody could just slip up on you and unalive you. And it'd be weeks for anybody to find out you's over here. We ain't dumb, and we know why you did that. That was a direct threat." Then she lets him know on their way back over there that she'd actually been there. When I say over there, back over to the house, on the side-by-side, that she'd already been there a couple hours, but that she was trying to be patient and wait on him. So what did she do in them 2 hours? Let me tell you. In them 2 hours, she went down to my grandmother's, and she admitted that. Ain't no telling what she went through down there. I don't know what in the devil she could possibly think was still down there if there was any count. But what could you possibly have down there that you ain't needed the last, 5 years? And especially the last 2.5. We all know that's your drop location, too. We ain't dumb. And I know that because I found your stash. So whoever that was owed to, I'm sure is pretty hot betwixt the ears, which you ain't to. And after you paid off that debt like you did the fella there in Monroe, I don't much care. Don't want to hear about it. Don't want to know about it. Now I'm going to tell y'all what else she got out of my daddy's house here in just a second. So they get back over to the house, and Jessie proceeds to ask him, could she have a couple packs of deer meat, that she's just a craving it. So my good old hearted daddy lets her have it, and he said he figured if he let her have it, she'd go on and go about her business, and he wouldn't have to deal with her. But here's the problem. She got more than 2 packs. So Dad tells me this. I go immediately to her page and unblock it and go to snooping around trying to see if I can see anything about that deer meat. Sure enough, she couldn't wait to post her cooking it that night, right? And she claims he gave her 2 packs, right? And that's all she got. No. I know how much went in to each pack of meat. Why? Because me and my husband's the one that not only processed the deer, we're also the one that packaged it for my dad. My dad is a widower. He lives by himself. Daddy does not eat that much. So whenever he cooks, he don't cook but just a handful. So we were literally putting 5 to 7 pieces of fried meat about like this per bag. And even when he'd fry that, he'd eat off of that 2 or 3 times. The amount of meat she had on that plate for her, her old lady, and all their friends that night was stacked high. It had to be 8 or 10 packs of meat, maybe more. So I called my daddy and I said, you might want to go check your deep freeze, because Daddy don't think to do none of that, y'all. He is truly that gullible and honestly absent-minded. He don't think about it, never has. And well, too trusting too. So he gets up and he goes, looks, she takes an entire box. And when I say box, I mean like a big cardboard box of meat, which not only had that deer, and it also had some fresh pork that me and my husband brought in. So I hope you enjoyed all of that. And you got your daddy's only deer for the year. I'm really glad you enjoyed that. And you didn't have to process it, pay for it, or nothing, you piece of crap. So after that, naturally, I call her. And I say, look, if you step foot back on that property one more time, your ace is going to jail, and I'm going to make sure of it. Well, she called my bluff. But little did she know, in between her showing up and doing the whole pop-up blind thing, to the deer meat, her stealing that, to the next time she talked to me, that was already in the works. Which leads me to the next time that we hear from her. Now, keep in mind, we've got all this legality stuff fixed. I'm over everything when it goes to my dad. His finances, his medical, everything. She can't touch nothing, including those houses and that land up there. She can't touch a blade of grass. Because it ain't my daddy's no more. Excuse me, I can't wink. Anywho, she calls my dad up, and y'all can imagine my daddy's sitting there. I'm sure he was laughing to himself the whole time. And this is the offer that she makes him and claims that he just can't refuse. This offer's too good, right? She offers him $25,000 for both homes and all that land up there. Says that's all it's truly worth, and she'd be doing him a favor, and $25,000 surely ought to be enough to last him till he, What is truly comical is not her offering him such a small amount for all of that. It was her stipulations for him to still live there. He was welcome to live there until, sweet 9-pound, 8-ounce baby Jesus called him home. However, he had to make sure that he did all repairs on both homes and keep the land up and pay for all of that until he died. And she wouldn't charge him no rent or nothing. Why, Jesse, so he could use that $25,000 that you gave him to do all that with, and everything be paid off free and clear, right? So whenever baby Jesus does come get him, you could just flip it right fast and sell it, right? Or actually, I guess you could just put it right on the market, huh? Well, good luck with that. I dare you to try. When I tell y'all my daddy said he is about to break his finger calling me fast enough to tell me what she just did, I ain't even playing. I didn't even call her or acknowledge that because I knew it was nothing she could do. And if I'm being brutally honest, I was low-key hoping she would at least try. Heck, I hope she still tries. I'd love nothing better but to put her tail back in jail. Or have her committed to a long-term mental health facility because that's truly where she needs to be. Now, I kind of halfway told a lie because I said I have not spoken to her in the last year and a half. I've not conversated with her normally, okay? And the very last time, if I'm being technical, that I spoke to her whatsoever, I'm not positive because it was on the other phone that got shattered, so I'm not sure the exact date. But the last time that I talked to her is when she took it up on herself to try to cash in our burial policies, both of them, which happened to be under my name, not hers. Why? Because I'm the one that paid for them and paid them off. Now, she has a policy on that, right? It's her own distinctive policy. My own distinctive policy. Mine's not cashable. Hers is, and she was able to secure a loan off of it. So the letter gets sent to my dad's because that's my last address that I had there with them, that was on record with them, and they sent it in my name. So I want to clear that up. I opened my mail, or my daddy opened my mail for me with my permission. And that's how I found all of that out. And then, of course, I called her and told her what I thought about her. We left her a voicemail. She wants to let y'all listen to it. She's welcome to. But I'm sure she won't because it incriminates her. So I reckon the real question is, why have you had to go through the lengths that you went through, especially this last year and a half? If you're such a success story, y'all got all of this money. You done bought a $400,000 home, which I was like $289. I also verified that. And yeah, they got a pool and all that stuff. But who cares, Jesse? You didn't buy it. Your old lady and her mama did. Right along with your trucks. And I say, what's up with all the dope sores back on your face? Just because you gain weight, that don't mean nothing. And again, it's a big difference between acne, hormonal acne, pimples, and dope sores. Big difference. One's a sore, one's an abrasion that will turn to an abscess quickly. How many of you had now? And before I end this video, I'm going to show y'all one of the messages that I got earlier from one of my really good friends on here that happens to be a trans woman. Now keep in mind, this is somebody that does not know her at all, other than watching her content on here. She just happens to agree with all those friends and family. Pause and read. Pause and read. Pause and read. Now, I made sure to hide her name, and I'm not going to tag her. If she wants to make it known she's the one that sent that message, she's welcome to. Otherwise, I'm not. And how many times now, Jesse, have you been called out for being a racist on this app? By your own community? You're truly not fooling anybody. At least not anybody that counts. You're only making yourself look like an idiot. You could have a very nice life if you would just admit your wrongdoings and get them right. You can love whoever the heck you want to, but there's no excuse to be a vile, disgusting human being. Oh, and I don't care how much tea you take, that fun button ain't gonna get big. And even if it did, you'll never have the balls to be a real man. Said what?